In a pinch, he quickly hit reverse, using a streetlight to knock down an enemy, but just as the car stopped, another attacker showed up. During the chaos, they knocked his weapon away. To escape, John had no choice but to back up again. The other door was gone too, and after a careful look, he locked onto the dropped weapon, started the car quickly, ducked to dodge bullets, and expertly grabbed the steering wheel while picking up the gun. He then sped towards the church, but his actions were announced by the 4 killers who planned to ambush him at the Arc de Triomphe, and a host of assassins was on their way. They split into 2 groups, heading for the roundabout at the Arc de Triomphe, while John noticed the bearded guy barreling straight towards him. In a critical moment, he jerked the steering wheel, avoided the crash, and reversed the car. But the enemy behind him wouldn't give up. He turned the car on the spot and quickly drew his gun to eliminate an enemy, taking one down. However, the situation was getting stickier, with a pair of vehicles launching a frantic attack ahead. In a pinch, John quickly drove with one hand while using the other to fight back. This caught the enemies off guard, leading to their immediate demise, but as John was busy taking down foes, he got clipped by a car from the side, leaving him dizzy. As he crawled out, enemies surrounded him. John shielded his head with his suit, firing 2 body shots, 1 headshot. He cleanly took out 3 nearby, but an enemy behind him tried to sneak attack. He swiftly disarmed the attacker and landed a brutal headshot in retaliation. Just as he was reloading, a car unexpectedly crashed into him again. Immediately, they exchanged fire on the busy road while John took the opportunity to. The out-of-bullets bearded guy quickly closed in, disarming John and slamming him against the incoming car. This slam injured John badly. He struggled to stand up but was forced back down with a flurry of punches, and then he was kicked to the ground. Riding behind, John crashed into him, sending him flying like a ragdoll. Then, he grabbed a gun and made a hasty escape, using the nearby speeding traffic to eliminate all pursuers, and coincidentally snapped a motorcycle on the way out. He hopped on the bike and sped toward his target. As John left the Arc, the Count's sniping plan failed, and he reached the church foot. But on the crystal-clear path up the hill, some clever assassins had already set up an ambush. Seeing no way out, John shielded his head with his suit and fought as he retreated. He ducked into a construction site, and as the pursuing enemies followed closely, a new battle erupted inside the building, a dark and cramped arena. This was the kind of place where John the Killing Machine excelled, swiftly dispatching enemies like a gun. Meanwhile, the little guy caused havoc, aiding John in killing other assassins. Sensing trouble, the Count frantically called him. The little guy seized the moment, demanding a price hike to 300 million if he was going to help kill John, changing the course of the battle. John's enemies continued to fall as he pressed on through the building, striking down foe after foe. The onslaught did not let up. He kept on taking out enemies in the building like it was a video game. The relentless assault continued, but now with some fancy gear, John looked unstoppable. With new gear, it was like adding wings to a tiger. He ducked behind a wall to reload, and enemies were taken out before they knew what hit them. Before they knew it, foes were out. Rolling to dodge, John countered swiftly, took out 2 more, sneaked out silently, and grabbed a loot bag on the way. He rolled under the kitchen table, shot them to hell, then popped up with a flourish. With a quick flip, he fired again, ready for more. Facing a surround attack, he didn't flinch, weaving expertly. In a blur, he fired in all directions, cleaned house, then grabbed another bag, as the enemy unexpectedly advanced. Enemies closed in and fired 3 shots, killing them. Meanwhile, the little guy arrived, exchanging fire through the wall with John. The showdown continued, but soon both sides found themselves out of bullets, and they both stared at each other in disbelief, realizing the stalemate. It was the classic standoff. Both sides were out of bullets and stared in utter confusion. They stood there like deer caught in headlights, realizing they'd need to think of another plan. Both sides stood frozen in place. It was indeed a classic Mexican standoff. They quickly realized they had no choice but to improvise. The serious battle had turned into a box of chocolates, predictably unpredictable. As both sides ran low, they scrambled to reload while figuring out their next move, like a game of chess gone haywire. Overwhelmed by this unexpected pause, both sides began to wonder if it was time for a snack rather than more bullets. Both sides paused, glancing at each other as if to say, we're all out of bullets. Now what? Cleanup was in order. It was clear they'd need a little more than just double-checking their ammo. With both sides officially out of ammo, it felt like they could take an intermission for popcorn before continuing the fight. Finally, after frantically checking ammo, John targeted the nearest enemy and used a powerful move to send the meat shield plummeting down the stairs. He followed up with another shot downwards and swiftly turned to take out another foe above his head, cleaning up too in a neat manner. Out of ammo, John had to search for. With no bullets left, John had to grab an assassin's weapon. As the camera zoomed in, he tossed an enemy down with one arm, quickly moved to the other side to pick up a rifle, and eliminated another enemy with a swift turn. He was utterly exhausted, but he didn't dare slow down. Glancing at his watch, time was running out. Looking up, he ran into the bearded guy again, about to retaliate. The bearded guy unleashed an almighty attack just as John attempted to fire back and landed a kick that sent him flying down the stairs. After all that effort, it all came back to bite him, as the Count had a hand in it too. Of course, the Count was included. Next, the Killing God and Master performed, with John leading. The duo started harvesting headshots, Egrov and Tilda. 2-man teams went on a spree, swiftly mowing down little threats with barely any effort. Taking out these small fries was easy. Soon, few of the second wave remained. Nightshifu, sword in one hand, gun in the other, moved smoothly, switching weapons effortlessly. At the top of the temple, John again faced a formidable foe. The continuous high-intensity battles had left him exhausted, and once again he was out of ammo. One swift move sent him tumbling down the stairs.